we can get you in there so that you can play with it and toy with it and test it and whatnot, and get you rolling along. So if you don't have a username and password, shoot us an email at support@anagramfinancial.com. We'll get you set up with a username and password, or just shoot me back a response when I send out these invitations. Okay, so let's jump into how the client uses the software, how they will maximize it, and how you can show them, obviously, what they need to be doing. Now, what we're looking at here is we have a Miss Snow White as a client here. You see this toolbar here on the screen of a time frame here. Well, with this client, for each one of you who has a username and password, you can set up a test client that you can use this. We've went over this in other trainings, but for those who have not been on those trainings, the test client is set up so that you can run the program, you can fast forward time, you can transact details, you can see how the software functions and works. This is very, very useful for people who are not very excited about the whole idea of mortgage acceleration, the naysayers. Use this to show them exactly what it's going to do for them. We have nothing to hide here. We're not trying to sell bells and whistles and smoke screens and stuff. Everything is right here in front of them, so you can use this to fast forward time, so on and so forth. Okay, all your other clients will not see this for testing purposes. Their dashboard will be without that. So obviously, for those of you who have set up a client, have seen that. So, all right, moving on here. Let's jump in here to how the client uses the software. Now, when they log into their software, this is the exact dashboard they're going to see. For all the private label owners out there, obviously your logo is going to be up here on the software at all times. For those of you who are selling under Easy Mortgage Acceleration, it's going to have the Easy Mortgage Acceleration logo here with your name licensed to you as well. Moving on here. Okay, so when they log in, they're going to see exactly what's going on here. They have 1.97 years remaining on their program. They have a payoff date of November 1st, 2010. To date savings, since it just started, obviously there's no savings there. Total savings, it's always going to lay that out here. The effective APR, and then when their next lump sum payment is going to come into place. Okay, so in our little dashboard setting here, this is where the majority of the highlights of the program are going to be highlighted here. And then obviously we have our comparison chart here of what's going on, the debt comparison of their original plan, what they were on versus the accelerated plan here. This is a very unique situation. You're not going to have too many people paying it off in 1.97 years, but for conversation's sake, we will use this and move on. Okay. And then your income and expenses, this is basically going to break down, okay, here's how much income you have, and here's how much of that goes towards your expenses. So it just kind of helps you get a ratio of what's going on in between your income and expenses here. Okay, so and then at all times you will have a 3-month window. The client will always see what's going to take place if they follow everything accordingly for 3 months at a time. So since today the plan was run on the 11th, you'll see that it's going to have from November 11th all the way through February. It's going to have all the transactions that need to be taking place in that time. Obviously, this is very useful, especially if you're using this for them as a budgeting calculator to help them understand that, and so that they can also understand everything that's going to be taking place from here on out and what to expect for the next 3 months. Obviously, we wish we could just put the whole plan out in front of them, but for sales purposes on your end, obviously isn't that there, and also for just lack of giving them a headache of too much information. Okay, so following the plan here, we understand our dashboard here. That's exactly what's going on here for them. Now let's understand our toolbar up here on the top so that you can understand each one of these features up here, and we can help the clients understand them as well. Okay, so our dashboard, we just went through it. We will come back to actually transacting the details and reconciling all that stuff in just a moment. But first, let's go into the details. The details is also what is known as the report. So when you kick out an analysis originally from your end, this is what the report is from the beginning. So we're going to have all of our personal information, the name, phone number, address, everything that's there. Then we'll have our line of credit details here in the next box, which will have our line of credit information. Is it, what's the name of the account? Is it a line of credit? Is it an interest-bearing account? So, it's an $18,000 limit, 12% interest rate. The balance is at $800. When is the projected payoff date? It's going to be on November 1st of 2010. Here's how much time remaining, so on and so forth. Okay, here's the total plan savings. Now, total plan savings is, obviously, it should be more than the mortgage. It's not going to be much more, but it will be more. So total plan savings is, here's our mortgage savings of $98,000. Our total plan savings is just over $100,000. And where it's coming up with the total savings is all of your debts, all the savings that you're going to have from them as well. So that will be added into it here. So you can see the debt savings on this one, on this car. It's going to be $1,700 saved there, so on and so forth. $289 here. Okay. Okay, so this is, each one of these, it's not the dolled up pretty version, but it has all the details of it. Okay, you have all your mortgage details in this box here with everything, when the payoff date is, how much savings, so on and so forth. Your payment, your original balance, your start date of your mortgage. This is very good for remembering what you started the plan with. If you mess something up, you can recalculate it, so on and so forth. And then obviously our debts will all be in this one here. It's also going to have our suggestive roll down order. Are we following the plan according to what it's spitting out? And it's going to say yes, you are. Your suggested roll down order is boom, 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 boom. Okay, and it doesn't look like they're following it because it's not saying you are following it. Income and expenses will be in here, all their incomes, all their expenses. So this is just basically reporting exactly what we've input into the analysis. Okay, our chart, here's what it was. This is what the client sees from there, and remember. Here's their investment feature. Looks like they're going to put money into a mutual fund, a 401k, and obviously the mortgage investment. The mortgage investment is once they paid off their mortgage, if they kept paying their mortgage payment of almost $600 here, what it will be worth. Okay, totaling it out here of almost over $900,000 in value, as well as the amortization comparison. In comparison, they were going to pay $5,800 here. Now they're only going to pay $4,200. This year they would have been up to $11,000 paid. Now we're only at $5,300 paid in interest, and it's paid off, versus what they would have paid in total down here of $103,000 total in interest. Okay, so that is the detailed section. It's known as the report on your end of it. When you're running it as an administrator or as a sales agent, when you're running an analysis, it's known as the report. For the client, it basically is the details section. Okay, edit personal information is exactly what it says, edit personal information. If they come in here, they want to change their password, if they want to change their username, they'll just need to simply update that information here to whatever they want it to be. If their email is changed, obviously they're going to want to update that. First name, last name. This is so that you, from your end, you're going to want as much good information in here, because when you're logging into your database, you're going to be able to see the phone numbers, the cell phone numbers, all the information. You want to be able to get a hold of this if you're going to continue to sell them products throughout the remainder of your life. Okay, and this is also where your client will be able to put if they want to be notified by an email or a text message if they have transactions that are needing to be done. So what you need to do is the email and text message feature will basically email the client and text message the client the day that a transaction needs to be taking place. So if you